Yeah, stop joking around. This is serious stuff, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry. I won't suggest any more paths while we're on this hike, I promise.
A lot of the fun of hiking is exploring. Sure, you can read reviews from books or the internet on what the trail is going to be like, but until you experience the trail for yourself, you never know for sure what you're getting yourself into. For example, crawling through a narrow cave that leads under the highway is not something you typically expect to do. For today's adventure, we once again headed down to the east side of the island. We parked at the blowhole seating spot, and we're all set to head on a trail that would take us to the Koko Head Arch. But our plans changed pretty quickly. It's right down there. You see where the guy's smoking? I think it's the next one. It's inlet place.
I pointed out a small cave that I knew about on the beach below. I had been there before and thought everyone else would like to check it out as well.
It's supposed to be petroglyphs on this side over there, but I never could find it. I went with my friend one time to try to look for it.
So we went down to the cave to take a look. I figured we would just take a quick peek and then move on our merry ways back to the start of the trail.
It kind of gets narrower,
I can see that.
so you have to kind of crawl.
Like at the end, you guys are like, okay, let's go. Max.
But our sense of adventure, or something, was too great. And before I knew it, we were walking into and through the cave.
There might be some bats in
Something
here.
I really didn't expect us to do.
There's a lot of cans.
But you know what they say, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And in a similar fashion, when you are presented with an easy trail to take, you ignore it and go crawling through the nearest cave? Let me rethink that one.
It's getting lower and lower, guys. You can't see.
Oh, it's so quiet in here now.
Oh,
I can't hear the ocean.
The cave started out pretty well. You could stand pretty easily. Sure, it was dark, but not too dark.
Should got knee pads and elbow pads.
Oh, no. Yeah, stop joking around. This is serious stuff, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry. I won't suggest any more paths while we're on this hike, I promise.
That's getting in the way. Are you kidding me? Is this what we're really doing?
As we started to get further along, though, the cave started to get narrower and narrower until we were crawling on our knees towards the exit.
That was fun.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. We'll see.
Humbled by the cave, we emerged crawling on our hands and knees, rewarded with dirt and minor scratches for our efforts. From that point on, though, things got a little tricky, as we found ourselves on the other side of the highway, far, far away from where the trail was supposed to start. So we had to get a little creative to bring us back to the start of the trail.
There is a trail.
Trying to be all cool up there.
Looks like Max the leader now.
After clinging to rocks and hugging the side of the hill for a good amount of time, something I wouldn't recommend you guys doing, We eventually made it to where we were originally supposed to start. Or near enough to it anyway. From then on, everyone was full of smiles and laughter as the nice, flat, easy trail led us to our destination. You know you're close to the arch when your dirt pathway is replaced by a more rocky substrate. Once you reach this part of the hike, you should take some time to commemorate all the brave adventurers who traversed this trail in the distant past. Like Joey. Sorry I stepped on your name, man. Ben. A king among men. And Mike. Who's better than Joey but not as good as Ben. Sorry, Mike.
Once you get to the arch, if you want to go further, you have the option to either climb up the arch or go around it, which I think is the easier of the two options. Of course, we decided to climb on top of the arch, partly because of our sense of adventure, or whatever, but mostly because we didn't realize at the time that we could go around the arch.
Climbing on top of the arch isn't too bad though. As long as you're sure to keep a good footing, the arch itself isn't too steep and it shouldn't be too difficult for you to reach the top. Once you reach the top of the arch, you should take your time to enjoy the great view of the ocean. You really deserve it after crawling through a cave. If you crawled through the cave. Don't crawl through the cave, please. Going back down, we decided to take a different route. Avoiding going straight down the arch, but deciding to go around it instead. This did require a bit of climbing.
Hand hold down to the left there. Take your left hand on it. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Watch the gravel.
Taking the other path was definitely worth it, just so we could get another perspective of the arch.
Oh, that's so cool. That's what we were on.
The route led us back to the freeway, and from there we just walked a little bit down the road back to the blowhole parking lot where we left our car. Walking across the street, as compared to tunneling under the highway, may not have been as adventurous, but it sure was easier and faster. And after walking for so many hours, none of us really felt like crawling again.
Give it a fast forward. Science. Dear Mr. Nye, we have something you might like to see.